Hello everyone, welcome back to Millie's Metrics. In our last video, we learned how to visualize data with multiple means of doing so, such as bar charts, pie charts, histograms, so on and so forth. Now, today, we're going to be diving into the world of central tendency and dispersion. We'll be talking about the mean, median, mode, and standard deviation. And these are the key tools that will help us understand what data looks like and how it spreads out. So we're going to be starting off with the mean, also known as the average. And it is also denoted by this symbol. It is probably the most well-known measure of central tendency. In order to calculate it, we're going to have this data set, and what we would have to do is simply add up all of our data points within our data set and divide by how many we have. And the number of elements of this data set is going to be denoted by n. In this case, it's going to be 5. Now, putting all of that together, we get our mean, and that's all you got to do. Now, I want to make a little mention right here. For using all of these functions in R, for most of them and not all of them, you would simply have to use your name. However, there is going to be one exception, and that is for the standard deviation, because it would be a little redundant, so we are just going to be using SD instead, and it's also, more time efficient, and that's how it works. Now that we've made that mention, we can head right back into the median. So the median is the middle value in our dataset when it is arranged into ascending order. So this is our original dataset, this is the dataset once it has been arranged, and we notice that this is our middle value, therefore it's going to be our median. However, this is an odd data set, and if this were even, then we would have had two values right here, and we would have had to calculate the mean for it in order to get to our median. Now for the mode, I have a little story right here, or I guess a little mention. Back in the olden days when I did my IGCSEs, I remember this specific phrase while I was reading through my material. It just stuck with me because it's really catchy. I am the mode and I am the most. It's just got that vibe about it. So I thought it was worth mentioning. Now, the mode is the value that appears most frequently in our dataset. For example, right here, we notice that 7 appears more than once, so that is going to be our mode. And now, I would say that we have gotten to the real part of statistics. This is where stats actually begins, the real statistics. You know what to say? This is where the fun begins. So, standard deviation measures how spread out your data is around the mean. Now, a low standard deviation means that the data is close to the mean, and a high standard deviation means that the data is more spread out. This is the formula, and this symbol right here is how we denote the standard deviation. It is called sigma. Now, looking into the other symbols, this one is called the sum, and it's just going to be the sum of everything that's inside of it. This one right here, it's mu, another Greek letter, and it's just another equivalent of the mean. It is used within this context, and we're going to see more about it later on. X index y is going to be each data point within our dataset, and n, we've already discussed it earlier, is the number of data points within our dataset. Now, I have taken the example from earlier, for which we have calculated the mean, and we are going to apply this formula to it. For starters, you could use a table like this in order to not get lost in the calculations, especially for ones that are a bit more complex as well. But in the future, you're going to be using calculators for this, but for now, you've just got to do it by hand. So first of all, we're going to take what's inside and calculate it. So we're going to be subtracting the mean from each data point. Then we're going to be squaring that, and since this is a sum, we're going to be adding all of them up together, finishing up the rest of the formula, and there we have our standard deviation. So really that's all about it. That's all it is. Now it's quiz time. So here we've got 3 questions, and I would like you guys to look at them, try to answer them, and as usual, I'm gonna be pinning the comment down below for the answers that you can check out yourselves and see if you got them right. Yeah. So that was it. That's it for today. In the next video, we'll dive into more complex concepts, a bit more advanced concepts like probability and distributions, so stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!